Okay, good morning all. It's Tuesday, December 29, 2020 at about 11 a.m. Central Time. We're conducting the business of the Board of Police, Fire and Police Commission. First, hope all of you have had a happy and healthy holiday season so far. Pursuant to the governor's stay-at-home order, this meeting is being held remotely via Microsoft Teams. This meeting will be broadcast live on Wilmet's Channel 6 and on YouTube. The recording will be archived on the village's website. Members who wish to participate in the meeting via a PC, mobile device, or phone can call 872-239-8225 and use conference code 233-006-972#. Members of the public who wish to make a public comment may still do so by sending an email to publiccomment@wilmet.com, or comment may be made during the meeting through YouTube Live or through the audio conferencing. With that, let's call to order. Ms. Cease, would you please take roll call?
Sure. Commissioner Ellman?
Here.
Commissioner Davidson?
Here.
Commissioner Kruger?
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, now we've got time for public comment. Mr. Ortega, do we have any public comments that have come in via publiccomment@wilmet.com or via YouTube Live?
We have not received any public comments at our email address, publiccomment@wilmet.com, and currently there are no public comments on YouTube Live either.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ortega. We have no comments. For any member of the public that is participating in the audio conferencing, are there any comments? Hearing none, there are no comments. Next, we're going to approve the minutes from our most recent meeting of the board, which was on June 19th, 2020. Can I have a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Those minutes have been approved. Next item on our agenda is the approval of the 2021 police officer original appointment examination timeline and to authorize the staff to make changes should the need arise. Police Chief Murphy, can you please provide a brief overview of the recruitment process and the timeline and the motion for which we are seeking approval?
Thank you, Commissioner Ellman. Yeah, we have our current eligibility list has been exhausted. And in 2021, we are looking to begin the application process on January 5th and testing on March 20th. And then the timeline in the memo is outlined thereafter. Some dates will be to be determined, but we are aiming for creating an eligibility list to be able to fulfill one current vacancy.
Okay, any questions or comments from the board?
No.
No.
Okay. Thanks, Chief Murphy. Can I have a motion to approve the 2021 police officer original appointment examination timeline and to authorize the staff to make changes should the need arise?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. That motion has been approved. Next, we have on our agenda the approval of the 2021 police sergeant promotion and testing timeline and call for examination. And Chief Murphy, could you give us a brief overview of the process and the motion that we are considering today?
Yes, our sergeant's eligibility list is good for 2 years and it's set to expire June 5th of 2021. So as part of that process, we need to establish a timeline and notified prospective candidates of the testing process so they can get the reading material and prepare for the exam. We anticipate these applications being made available to applicants in January 18th with a tentative written examination date of April 15th, followed by an assessment center, then followed by oral interviews with the Board of Fire and Police Commissioners.
Okay, thank you, Chief. Any questions or comments from the board members?
No.
Okay, then can I have a motion to approve the 2021 police sergeant promotion process, testing timeline, call for examinations, and to authorize the staff to make changes should the need arise?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? None. That motion has been approved. Thank you, Chief. Next, we're moving on to the fire department. And next item on the agenda is for approval of the 2020 firefighter original appointment examination timeline and to authorize staff to make changes should the need arise. Fire Chief Wozni, can you provide us a brief status of the firefighter recruitment process and the motion that we are considering today?
Hey, Chief, you're muted.
Sorry, we have a lot of speakers going off above me. So our current firefighter eligibility list expired in November. We had reached out to IO Solutions along with our partners. We currently partner with 3 other fire departments to provide testing for us. We failed to come to the board beforehand. It was an oversight on our part to get the approval for the timeline back in June. So we are looking to approve the timeline set forth in the packet, which is basically already complete now. So we began the application process in June, tested in September, and currently have a list ready to go.
So, and just to elaborate, even though we failed to get the approval of the board before we started the recruitment process, we followed the same process that the board has historically approved. So we used the vendor iOS to administer the test, which they did. We properly advertised and allowed proper notification. We advertised on the village's website, and they do additional advertising. We did not curtail from the normal process that the board would normally approve, other than there were so many other things going on, and that was one important major part of this that we forgot to do. But rest assured that we did nothing differently. We followed the normal procedure and normal protocols that we and the board has historically directed us to follow.
And also just along those same lines, unlike the police on the fire side, we are strictly mandated by state statute and how we do our testing process. So we cannot deviate from that from year to year. So any deviation or change in law, we would be coming in front of the board of at that time to make those changes.
I just had a quick question, Chief and Alex. So I understand that you followed the process and it's dictated by statute. I'm just curious, have we ever had this situation before where we have done a retroactive approval of the process that you're aware of?
I'm newer to this commission, so I don't know historically if we have ever retroactively approved the process. I can find out by looking at past records. Ben Murphy, Ben Kyle, do you guys recollect at any point in time where we've retroactively been in this situation?
Not that I'm aware of, but I think you did have a conversation with Corporation Counsel regarding, is that correct, Alice?
Yeah, I did speak with Jeff Stein, Corporation Counsel, and he stated that as long as the board approved it, it wouldn't be an issue if the board wanted to go forward with it. If the board did not feel comfortable, then the board can decide to either nullify part of the process that we've completed or the entire process, and we would start the recruitment process all over again. But he didn't find that there was, from a rules and regulation standpoint, that it was, we weren't violating any laws by retroactively approving it.
Yeah, thanks for that, Alex. I did a little bit of my own research and came to the same conclusion
Okay.
that there's nothing prohibiting a retroactive approval that I could find within the statute. So I think we're good in that regard. I was just curious if we'd ever done it before. So thank you.
Any other comments or questions from the board? Well, in my view, the fact that it does appear to be not prohibited to retroactively approve the timeline, and the fact that the usual procedures have been followed and indeed are mandated by state law suggests that that retroactive approval would be appropriate here. So in light of that, can I have a motion which will be rephrased from the initial motion? This motion would be to retroactively approve the retroactively approve the 2020 firefighter original appointment examination timeline and authorize staff to make changes should the need arise. Can I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. That motion has been approved. Thank you, Chief, and thank you, Board. Next, we have on our agenda the establishment of initial eligibility register for the position of firefighter. And Chief Wozni, again, can you give us a brief status of that, description of that process and the status of the initial eligibility register?
Correct. Thank you. So on September 26th, we did hold our exam with our partners. Based on our requirements and our 70% passing rate, we had 131 eligible candidates and got our initial list from IO Solutions, which did not include their preference points. So remember, preference points are up to 15 additional points that are based off of education, military, and whether or not they have a current paramedic license. After the candidates were given 10 days to submit their documentations for those preference points, we were given a new eligibility list, which is attached to this packet with those 131 eligible candidates. Based on state statute, we are allowed to look at the top 5 or top 5%, whichever number is bigger. So based on the 131, we have the ability to look at the top 7, which is 6.55, so we round it up. And at this time, although I'm not sure if we're coming back to you for that approval for you to review those applications, we're not anticipating shuffling that list that we've done in the past based off the applications. So we've reviewed those initial 7 applications and we're comfortable with the order that they're in now. But that will be our initial eligibility roster, will be those 131 candidates. And our final eligibility roster will be those 7. And then we will continue to have board meetings as we have a opening to go through that list if they're still eligible and available.
Okay, thank you, Chief. Questions or comments from the board on that issue?
No.
Okay. Then we will rephrase this motion as well, since the process has already started, but retroactivity apparently the board believes is not prohibited by law. So can I have a motion to retroactively approve the established initial eligibility register for the position of firefighter?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
None. That motion is approved. Chief, next item on the agenda is a related issue, which you mentioned in passing, no pun intended, but it's to set a minimum passing score for placement on the final firefighter eligibility register. Chief, do you have anything to add with regard to that issue?
No, just that our recommendation is continue with the 70% passing score as in the past.
So just to elaborate on that, 70% was the amount that was set as a passing score. And that's why when you look at the initial eligibility score, the information that was provided was for those who scored 70 and above. So we have already set that based on historically what the board has approved.
Thank you, Alex. Any questions or comments from the board on this particular issue?
No.
Okay. So again, we'll rephrase this motion to make it a retroactive motion. Can I have a motion to retroactively approve the minimum passing score of 70% on the written examination for placement on the final eligibility roster.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, none. That motion has been approved. I believe that's the last substantive item on our agenda. So we have no further business to conduct or discuss. Thanks to the board members and to Fire Chief Wozni and Police Chief Murphy for your participation along with Alex and others who are helping today. Can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. This motion is
Aye.
adjourned at 11:17 Central Time. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.